This video explores the age of revolutions, specifically from the 1750s to 1815, focusing on the rise of industrial capitalism in Europe. We will examine the political, economic, and social effects of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution began in Great Britain in the late 1700s and gradually spread globally, introducing new manufacturing processes throughout the 18th and 19th centuries. Before this era, society met its economic needs primarily through farming and the production of simple, handmade goods. A major part of this transformation was the shift in cloth production, which moved from homes into large factories. Britain's abundant supplies of coal and iron were essential to this change, providing the power and materials needed to build factory machinery. The consolidation of capitalism in Europe was a direct outcome of these changes in producing essential goods like cloth, iron, and steel. Essentially, this period was defined by the replacement of manual labor with new machines, making large-scale production possible. Capitalism itself emerged between the 16th and 17th centuries in northwestern Europe, particularly in Great Britain, laying the groundwork for later industrialization. Industrial capitalism is a mode of production characterized by large, centrally controlled accumulations of capital, which are used to finance the production of commodities. Technology was one of the most significant factors contributing to the rise and expansion of industrial capitalism. Key characteristics of capitalism include capital accumulation, competitive markets, a price system, and the protection of private property and property rights. Additional characteristics of this system include the development of new technologies to aid business and the implementation of voluntary exchange and wage labor. New technologies also included the typewriter, which was essential for speeding up record-keeping in a growing industrial economy. The development of electricity was another technological milestone, which made it possible for factories and businesses to operate safely after dark. The ethos of industrial capitalism challenged older mercantilist doctrines that relied on trade barriers and monopolies, supporting a laissez-faire economy instead. By the mid-19th century, Britain had fully embraced this approach. The main political and economic philosophies of capitalism included liberalism, competition in trade, and the development of a free market economy. By the 19th century, Britain was recognized as the world's workshop, reflecting its dominant position in industrial production. Steam engine technology was a driving force of industrial capitalism, leading to the invention of steam-powered locomotives and the expansion of railway networks. Railways played a crucial role in the integration of vast continental spaces, fostering political, cultural, and economic connections. For example, the British began building railways in India in the 1850s, while North America completed its first transcontinental railroad in 1869. As a result of railway expansion, the transportation costs for raw materials and finished products were significantly reduced. This increased efficiency meant that new sources of supply became accessible, and new markets were open to trade. Industrialization also had major political effects, shifting power toward industries that would later become monopolies, while the mechanization of labor displaced many workers. The rise of industrial capitalism throughout the 19th century also coincided with an increase in labor protests, including widespread strikes. Socially, the Industrial Revolution changed life by fueling the growth of cities and creating two distinct classes, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. The bourgeoisie owned the factories, machinery, and raw materials, while the proletariat sold their labor for wages, often facing strict discipline and potential unemployment. Living conditions shifted with these new class structures, and children were often employed as a cheap source of labor during this period. Economically, the Industrial Revolution represented a massive transformation. It saw the shift from agricultural and small-scale handicraft economies toward large-scale mechanized manufacturing and the formal factory system. This economic transformation led to an overall increase in wealth and the production of goods. For many, it eventually helped improve the standard of living, providing better access to healthier diets, housing, education, and cheaper consumer goods. However, the Industrial Revolution also brought significant negative consequences, including environmental degradation, pollution, poor sanitation, the spread of diseases, difficult working conditions with low wages, and the use of child labor.